Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I am Evelyn O'Shorty, and today we're going to be reviewing Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. Brand new one from Jason Aaron, Alexandre, probably going to pronounce this incorrectly, Tefenki, and Lee Luffridge. It's by Boom Studios, and you're probably thinking, but shorty, not another Boom Studios #1. Are no other comic publishers doing anything? Yes, they are. There's lots of the cool stuff out there at the moment. The reason I tend to grab at least one Boom a week at the moment is they are on a rise, and same I'm trying to get a bit of IDW, a bit of Dark Horse when I can. But in this particular case, I've been looking forward to this one for a while. Mostly because I really think Jason Aaron is a good writer, but it's been a long time since he's written anything I've cared about. And I'm hoping this is going to be a change for me. This is a post-apocalyptic love story set in the aftermath of a climate disaster on what I assume is our planet. And I do like the idea of telling stories about climate apocalypse. I think it's worth this being a story people are reading about. If it was a love story, brilliant. It might get some people in who might not otherwise bothered. And it's also kind of funny, like a romantic comedy, which again could get some people into it. I'm all in favour of that. And it also is a great example of why I do like Aaron and why I feel kind of bad that I've missed out on one of his stuff. Because in the first page, we have some writing which is worth reading out loud. It's somebody describing one of the characters. She's been sailing for 19 and 5/8 days. And there's a few little bits of text here about the world she is. And bear in mind, this is her on a boat. Above wild infernos raging in the deep, where the sea was scabbed with ash and pockmarked with geysers of gushing black fire. That's good writing. And it also is very evocative, the idea of the world being so messed up that there's literally underwater fire. Which, yeah, I know, it's not like it doesn't exist. This is well documented, look into it. But the idea of this, that it is just a common thing and described with such amazing talent. I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm totally in on this one. And it also is quite telling that this is the first bit where you get description of a character. There's two in there, and they each have their own voices to them, which gets used both in dialogue and in narration. And you ever read like a DC or a Marvel comic book where they have the different characters doing narration, and they'll have the little logo in the top corner, basically like Batman's bat or Catwoman's cat or Superman's hope, whatever it is. Brian Michael Bendis, when he was doing Young Justice, I mean, it really needed that kind of thing. There's a lot of characters talking at the same time. There's only two characters in this, and I don't really worry about that, simply because they have such unique voices. One of the characters is a nihilistic badass who's been surviving for a very long time on her own, and is determined to see something through. We're not entirely sure what yet. There's obviously foreshadowing. We don't get full character backgrounds in this issue. The other one is a kind of sheltered young lad who's very, very, very clever, but also really weirdly positive about the whole thing and doesn't let anything get in his way. And these characters are so individual. You can see how they butt up against each other, but also, knowing this is a love story set at the end of the world, it makes perfect sense. Opposites attract and all that kind of stuff, but they're written really well. To the point that I actually love these characters after just one issue. Not to say I'd actually like to hang out with them. I think I find them both annoying after a while. But in terms of how well written they are as characters, yes, I love them. I'd actually want to know what's going on in their lives. There is little hints of foreshadowing of backstory of why they are where they are and why they are who they are. But they don't really spend a lot of time on that, which is fair enough. We have 14 more issues after this, broken into 5-issue arcs, which is a really nice thing to know ahead of time. So if you are thinking about getting into it, you don't have any nasty surprises coming after you. And there's even like a couple of pages at the end with a different art style, set years after this, which give it a hint of what they're going to be doing in terms of each arc being a significantly separate story. Great ideas. On the artwork front, main artist, Alexandre, I apologise. I'm really bad sometimes when it comes to names. I don't want to try and pronounce it and get it wrong because I'm an idiot, but it's the artist from The Good Asian. Sorry, I blanked on the name there. One of the best things I've read the last year. It's absolutely superb, and there's a really nice, solid difference in style. Instead of going for deep, stylistic noir, like literally dripping style in Good Asian, this is more down-to-earth, realistic, fine detail kind of work. The best example I've got of this is in 2 pages, 6 panels, 3 on each, and it's just different rooms in this massive building where very clever bloke lives. And each room has its own kind of theme and setting, and there's so much attention to detail put into these. And what's odd is, when you get to the end of the comic book, you kind of realise we're never going to come back here. But an awful lot of time was spent on just these rooms and all the detail that goes into it, and it's like absolutely captivating. It makes you want to go back and re-look and make sure you take in all the detail. Very, very different style choices, but absolutely work. However, I cannot go any further without saying this hero of this for me is Lee Luffridge. Just doing the colours, but it's brilliant. I've spoken in the past about the idea of like reduced colour palettes to get across ideas, give it for time and even place. it looks like this is what they're going for here, but it's selling it short. There is a depth to it, which is absolutely fantastic, and also a breadth to the colours used. Yes, you might think this is just, oh, this is an earth tone kind of scene, but pay attention to all the little splashes of colour throughout there. None of it is subtle, none of it is wasted, and I think that's important to give across the entire thing they're doing. The detail in the writing to get the character across, the setting of the world is fantastic, the artistic detail and the colouring choices, all of which come together to give you a really nice, grounded, human, realistic story where detail is the key, and it makes me just want to go back and reread it again, pay attention to everything, and make sure I've not missed anything. Genuinely good start to this series. I hope you can go and support your comic store and grab one. That's it from me for today, though. I'll be back tomorrow with another review. Make sure you don't miss out on it by hitting the subscribe button. Until then, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.